Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever just kind of looked at your garden and wondered, what's really going on between all the plants? Well, it turns out it's this incredibly complex social network of friends, bodyguards, and even helpers. Today, we're going to dig into the fascinating world of companion planting, where plants can actually form these powerful partnerships to create a garden that doesn't just survive, but absolutely thrives.
So why do carrots love tomatoes, right? It sounds like the start of a cheesy joke, but it's actually a fantastic question. It gets right to the heart of this brilliant gardening strategy. And this isn't just about making your garden look pretty, it's about creating a living, breathing, self-sufficient ecosystem right in your own backyard.
You know, at its core, companion planting is this ancient wisdom that gardeners have been passing down for centuries. But the cool thing is, we're now really beginning to understand the science behind why these plant friendships actually work. And look, this isn't just some old folklore, it's a practical, super powerful strategy for a healthier and way more productive garden.
So what is it exactly? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's just the practice of arranging your plants so they can help each other out. Think of it like building the ultimate team roster for your garden. One plant might repel a pest that its neighbor really hates, while another might be improving the soil, giving its companion a much-needed nutrient boost. It's a totally cooperative system, and believe me, it works.
And this is not some new fad. Gardeners have been onto this for generations. As Luz Riat, the author of the absolute classic book Carrots Love Tomatoes, put it, these partnerships are of great practical use. She totally got it. A garden is so much more than just straight rows of vegetables. It's a living community.
Okay, so how does this actually work? Well, one of the most effective strategies is something we can call the bodyguard effect. This is where certain plants literally act as protectors, shielding their neighbors from all sorts of nasty insects.
And his slide shows the whole idea perfectly. In a monoculture, where you just have rows and rows of the same plant, pests have an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's just so easy for them to hop from one plant to the next. But in a mixed planting, all those different, strong smells create this chaotic cloud of scent that totally confuses the pests. It basically hides their favorite meal in plain sight.
And that fragrant confusion, that's the secret weapon. A perfect example of this is the strategic partnership between the carrot and the leek, a classic defense against the dreaded carrot fly.
I mean, how brilliant is this? It's a perfect two-way street. The really strong, oniony smell of the leek is so off-putting to the carrot fly that it just stays away. But then, it gets even better. The carrot's own unique smell does the exact same thing to the leek moth. Each plant is literally a bodyguard for the other. It's genius.
All right, here's another powerhouse pairing for you. Think of this one like a heavyweight fight. The destructive asparagus beetle versus the humble tomato plant. And this is just another fantastic example of that tag team defense. The tomato plant gives off a chemical that the asparagus beetle just cannot stand, which keeps your asparagus patch safe and sound. And in return, the asparagus roots release their own compound that fights off nematodes, these tiny microscopic worms that can completely wreck tomato roots. It is a total win-win.
Okay, so companion planting isn't all about playing defense. Some plants go a step further. They're like the generous neighbor, who's always improving the whole neighborhood for everyone.
You know, one of the most incredible things happening in your garden, totally unseen, is nitrogen fixation. It starts with legumes, so plants like peas and beans. They are true powerhouses. They host these special bacteria in their roots that can literally pull nitrogen right out of the air and turn it into natural fertilizer in the soil. And then all their neighbors get to reap the benefits, soaking up this free nutrient boost for stronger, healthier growth.
But hey, it doesn't always have to be so scientific. Sometimes it's a much simpler, more direct boost. For instance, just planting some parsley near your tomatoes or asparagus has been shown to give some extra vigor to both of them. It's like giving your plants a little shot of espresso.
All right, so we've got the bodyguards, we've got the helpers, but what about real estate? There's another huge benefit here, especially if you have a smaller garden, and that's maximizing your space. Companion planting is also a brilliant design strategy for pure efficiency.
This whole technique is called intercropping, and it is so smart. It's all about timing. You plant a fast-growing crop, like radishes, right next to a slow grower, like broccoli. By the time that broccoli plant really needs the room to spread out, you've already harvested your radishes and they're long gone. Same thing with lettuce and onions. You pull a green onion for dinner,
and boom, you've got an instant spot to pop in a new lettuce plant.
And I just love how Louise Riot talks about this. She calls it a floating crop game. It's such a dynamic, clever way to think about your garden. Not as some static layout, but as this constantly evolving puzzle where you're trying to maximize every single inch of soil all season long.
So when you start putting all these different pieces together, the bodyguards, the soil builders, the clever space savers, you start to realize something. You stop thinking about just individual plants, and you start seeing your garden for what it really is, a complex, totally interconnected ecosystem.
So let's just quickly recap the big ideas here. First, diversity is your friend, it keeps pests away. Second, some plants are natural fertilizers, just enriching the soil for free. Third, smart planting lets you get way more food from less space. And maybe most importantly, a really successful garden is never just rows of plants, it's a thriving ecosystem. At the end of the day, the big takeaway is this: your garden is absolutely alive with all these hidden relationships and secret alliances. And by understanding them, you can start working with nature, not against it, to create a garden that's more resilient, more productive, and honestly, just a lot more fascinating. The only real question left is, what unseen partnerships will you decide to plant this year?